What's up? It's Sally with Designs Land Labs. So you're thinking about buying land, maybe building your dream home, maybe an investment play. Here's the thing: I've watched people lose tens of thousands of dollars because they skipped basic checks. And I'm talking about smart people, lawyers, doctors, business owners. They just didn't know what they didn't know. So today I'm giving you the complete checklist, everything you need to verify before you hand over your money. No theory, just the exact steps. And look, I'm not trying to scare you. Buying land can be one of the best decisions you'll ever make, but you got to do it right. Let's go. Legal checks. All right. First things first, legal verification. This is where most people get burned. Title verification. You need to confirm that the person selling you the land actually owns it. Sounds obvious, right? But here's what happens. Someone shows you documents. They look official. You trust them. Boom. 6 months later, the real owner shows up. Here's what you do. Go to the land registry office, not online, in person. Get an official title search. This document tells you who the legal owner is, the exact boundaries, and any restrictions on the land. Cost. Usually $50 to $200, depending on where you are. Best money you'll ever spend, encumbrances and liens. This is debt attached to the property. Maybe the seller took a loan using the land as collateral. Maybe there's unpaid taxes. If you buy the land, guess what? That debt becomes your problem. The title search will show you this. Look for any mortgages, charges, or liens registered against the property. If there are any, the seller needs to clear them before closing, or you negotiate a lower price to cover it. Non-negotiable. Don't skip this. Zoning and land use. Here's a mistake I see all the time. Someone buys land thinking they'll build a 5-story apartment building, then they find out it's zoned for single-family residential only, or it's agricultural land with restrictions. Call the local planning department. Ask them, what's this land zoned for? Can I build what I want to build? Are there any pending zoning changes? What's the building coverage allowed? Get this in writing. Email works. Just get it documented. Access rights. Can you actually get to your land? I know a guy who bought beautiful land, landlocked. No legal road access. Had to negotiate with 3 neighbors just to create a right-of-way. Cost him $20,000 extra. Check the title for right-of-way. If the land doesn't border a public road, you need legal access through someone else's property. Make sure it's registered. And permanent, not just a handshake agreement pending litigation. Is anyone suing over this land? Boundary disputes, ownership claims, whatever. Your lawyer should do a litigation search. Takes a few days. If there's any court case involving the property, you need to know before you buy. Simple as that. Physical assessment. Legal's done. Now let's talk about the land itself. Topography and slope. Walk the land. I'm serious. Don't just drive by. Walk it. Is it flat? Slopped? Rocky? The terrain affects your building costs massively. Flat land. Straightforward foundation. Easy construction access. Steep slope. You're looking at retaining walls, specialized foundations, maybe terracing. This adds 20 to 40% to your construction budget easily. Get a topographical survey if the land is anything but flat. A surveyor maps out the elevation changes, costs $500 to $1,500, worth every penny. Soil testing. This is huge. The soil determines what foundation you can build and how much it'll cost. You need a geotechnical engineer to do soil boring tests. They drill down, take samples, test the bearing capacity. Clay soil? Expands and contracts. You need a specific foundation type. Sandy soil. Drains well but might need deeper foundations. Rock. Expensive to excavate but great bearing capacity. Don't guess, test it. Budget $1,000 to $3,000 for proper soil testing. Drainage and flood risk. Where does water go when it rains? Look for natural drainage patterns. Are there low spots that collect water? Is the land in a floodplain? Check with the local authority for flood zone maps. If you're in a flood zone, your insurance costs go up and you might need elevated foundations. Also, look uphill. Is there land above you that could send water your way? You might need drainage solutions before you even build. Utilities for things, water, electricity, sewage, and internet. Are they available at the boundary? Or do you need to extend them? Extending utilities gets expensive fast. Electricity connection from the nearest pole could be $5,000 to $20,000 depending on distance. No municipal water? You're drilling a borehole, another $5,000 to $15,000, no sewage connection. Septic system for $10,000. Call the utility companies, get quotes in writing, factor this into your total land cost. Environmental issues. Is the land contaminated? Was it a gas station? Industrial site? Waste dump? Get an environmental assessment if there's any history of commercial use. Contaminated land is a nightmare. Cleanup costs can exceed the land value. Also check for protected species or wetlands. If there's an endangered butterfly on your land, good luck getting building permits. Financial due diligence. Now let's talk money. True. Market value. What's the land actually worth? Don't just trust the asking price. Sellers can ask whatever they want. Get a professional valuation. A licensed appraiser looks at comparable sales, location factors, development potential, gives you a real number. This helps in 2 ways. 1, you know if you're overpaying. 2, if you're financing. The bank needs this anyway. Cost. $300 to $800. Do it. Hidden costs. The land price is just the start. Here are the extras. Legal fees. 1 to 3% of purchase price survey costs. $500 to $2,000. Title insurance, optional but recommended, around 0.5% land transfer taxes. Varies by region, can be 1 to 3% registration fees. Few $100 due diligence costs. All the testing and searches we talked about added all up. Budget an extra 5 to 7% on top of the land price for transaction. Costs, ongoing costs. You own the land. Now you pay property taxes, annual based on assessed value and maintenance, clearing, security, fencing, utility connection fees. Some are monthly even if you're not building yet. Know these numbers before you buy. Factor them into your holding costs if you're not building immediately. Development potential. What can you actually do with this land? If you're buying as an investment, run the numbers. Land cost plus transaction cost, development costs. We'll cover this in another video. Expected sale price or rental income timeline. Does the math work? If not, walk away. Don't buy land hoping it appreciates. Buy it with a plan. Financing considerations. If you're getting a loan, know this. Land loans have higher interest rates than home loans. They're considered riskier. Banks typically finance 60 to 70% of land value. You need 30 to 40% down payment, and they'll want to see your building plans. They're not financing land speculation. Get pre-approved before you start looking. Saves time and gives you negotiating power. The red flags, all right, let's talk about when to walk away. Red flag 1, sellers rushing you. This land has 3 other buyers. You need to decide today. Bull. Good deals don't need pressure tactics. Take your time. Do your checks. Red flag 2, missing documents. No title deed. Surveys coming soon. Building approval in process. Nope. Every document should be ready for your verification. If they can't produce it, assume it doesn't exist. Red flag 3, too good to be true pricing. Land that's 50% cheaper than comparable properties in the area. There's a reason: bad access, legal issues, contamination, zoning problems. Figure out the reason before you get excited about the deal. Red flag 4, disputed boundaries. Talk to the neighbors. Seriously. Oh, that corner. We've been using that for 20 years. Boundary disputes are expensive and time-consuming. If there's any hint of confusion about where the property lines are, get a boundary survey done and make sure all neighbors agree in writing. Red flag 5, verbal agreements. Don't worry about the road access. My cousin said we can use his driveway. If it's not registered on the title, it doesn't exist. Period. Everything must be in writing and legally binding. Real example. I knew someone who bought land without checking the soil. Beautiful 5-acre plot. Great price. Started construction. Soil tests came back. Needed specialized foundations because of expansive clay. Added $45,000 to the build cost. That great deal on land ended up being more expensive than buying proper land in the first place. Don't be that person. Look, buying land should be exciting, not stressful, but you got to do your homework. Use this checklist every single point. And here's the thing: if the seller has a problem with you doing due diligence, that's your answer right there. Walk away. Good sellers with clean properties will welcome your thoroughness because they have nothing to hide. So here's what I want you to do. First, download the complete checklist. I've put it in the description below. It's a PDF you can print out and take with you. Second, if you're currently looking at land, pause. Go through this checklist. See what you might have missed. Third, share this with someone who's buying land, could save them thousands, and drop a comment below. What's your biggest concern when it comes to buying land? I read every single comment and I'll answer them. If you want more content like this, real, actionable, no BS advice on property, construction, design, and how AI is changing everything, hit that subscribe button. Next video, we're breaking down the real cost of building a 3-bedroom house. I'm talking exact numbers, receipts, everything. Until then, do your due diligence, trust, but verify, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.